Hi, I'm Don, and this is Hi, I'm Don Radio. What's buzzing, cousin? Yeah. How are you feeling? How's life? How's the family? How has February been treating you? What have you been doing? All Black History Month. What have you been doing? Now, if you haven't been doing anything but being yourself, being proud, and existing and making it through, that's enough, friend. That's enough, cousin. It's okay. That's more than enough. I'm with you. That's good. That's good. Episode 16. Oh my God. We're almost 20 episodes in. And the next episode is going to be out 4 days before my birthday. Woo woo. Pisces Nation, in case you didn't know where you were. This episode, we're talking about speaking up. Speak up. Speak up, huh? Can't hear you. What? Speak up. Speak up for yourself. Speaking up for your life. Cousin, tell me, have you had to learn, or are you still learning how to assert yourself in all situations? Like when I tell you or I remind you to speak up for yourself or speak up for someone else, when I say speak up and I'm telling you that, or I'm reminding you to do that, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Who are the first people that come to mind? And while you think on that, I'm going to play you a song. This is Patience by Beauty the Bum. Here we go.
Damn, oh babe, you kill this shit. What you
Where's Q? Play that beat again.
We so in a hurry and time's moving at a steady rate. Stop to reflect on that one. So why don't you take your time and do it right? Slow and steady to perfection. Patience is a virtue. Find your spot in the sunroom. Life's cruel, what you gon' do? Can't stop and stew, cause we're on the move. Unsure you should ask somebody looking for some pity. We don't throw them type of parties, no. It's your agenda, sugar or splendor. Could be creating while you are waiting. Alarm can be set and I wake up ahead of time. Hey, how could that be when it's not on my mind? Guardian angel, how you wanna say thank ya? I plan ahead and I use every moment. I guess I need a few of them for enjoyment. Success has no reason, no right. It has no reason, no right. don't throw them type of parties, no, girl. No, 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 no. Yeah. No, 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 no. Patience is a virtue. You gotta find your spot in the sunroof. It takes patience. It takes patience. It takes patience.
And we're back. Again, that was Patience by Beauty the Bum. What's the first situation or person that came to mind with my question? When I said, when I bring up or I tell you or I remind you to speak up, when I say those words, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it you? Is it something about you? Is it something about someone you love? Does a person come to mind? Or a situation come to mind? What comes to mind when I say speak up? Wherever you're listening, type that below. When I say speak up. A few episodes ago, we talked about, New Year resolutions, things you want to change, mapped out our plan for 2026. Have you started? Have you made any progress on that list? Have you started changing your perception, your actions, and in turn, changing your life? Have you been doing the work, cousin? Don't be faking like you're doing the work, because I'm doing the work, cousin. If you haven't, it's not too late to start at all. Maybe practicing speaking up for yourself or others will help you tackle this very task. Help you with these resolutions. Okay, what do you mean? Let's just throw some examples or whatever, right? You're bored or unfulfilled at home or at work, speak up. Communicate your grievances. Have some solutions prepared. That's just the type of person I am. So if you already aren't that type of person, make a note to have solutions. Because if you have a support system or what have you, and you bring this up or that up, and you say, hey, I don't like this, and that, skidda boom, skidda bop, I don't like this, boo up the bam. And they're like, okay, well, what do you like? What do you want? How do you want this to change? And you don't know, you haven't, I didn't think that far ahead. No, we're not doing that. Okay. We gonna learn from other people's mistakes. If you've done that before, if you have not done that before, it's been done before. And sometimes you lose your momentum just as fast because you didn't have any solutions thought of. I'm the type of person, I'm always going to have that. I'm that character type. That's who I am. So if you're not, make sure you write that step down. Okay. Because people like the meow part of it. Like they like to be able to, yeah, I'm going to go and I'm going to say this and that. And then they going to be like, then I'm going to be like, then they going to be like, okay. And then after that, what happens? Oh, I didn't think that far. I'm not sure. I overthink so much. I'm not sure how. Some people don't have that plan. So you make sure you do, cousin, because we just had this talk, okay? Have some solutions prepared after you communicate your grievances. What do you want? What could you possibly want? And it's okay to genuinely don't know and just don't want what's happening now. But start somewhere. Have some type of starting point, right? Prepare for a no. Prepare for a not yet. Be able to, this isn't a fairy tale, this is real life. So be able to take rejection or things not being able to go your way exactly at this time. But we're moving the goalposts. We're working towards it, right? Well, not moving the goalposts. I don't think that's the right way for what I'm trying to say. Because moving the goalposts feels more like every time I try to get there and accomplish it, you move the goalposts. I feel like I use that in the wrong context. Communicate your grievances and have some solutions. Prepare for a no or not yet, because we're working towards something. We're working towards a type of life, a type of being, right? So just like what other situations when people want to be famous and the world famous this or that, a boxer, a writer, an actress, a singer. They, I auditioned 117 times and I got 116 no's and I got a one yes. But they say keep going, don't stop, don't let a no stop you. Yes, that works and applies to more places and almost everywhere, right? And so don't give up until you get your desired outcome. Keep working that formula. And if you feel like that formula isn't working, make another formula, but don't stop. Get it. Okay. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Don't stop. Get it. Okay. And just make sure you're making small changes every day towards your outcome, right? If you can do those things and keep working again, that's the formula, right? Just gave you the formula. Did you hear what I said? That's the formula. Work it. Didn't say you already got these two parts, but you just need to work 3 and 4, or step 4 and 5, or maybe you need to add some more steps. Work it. Don't stop. Get it, right? What's another situation for speaking up? Again, speaking up sometimes it's not just for you. It's not just a you thing. Speaking up can be freeing someone else, helping someone else, your friends, your family, your, other loved ones, or for strangers, having compassion for your fellow person, your fellow man, right? You see someone being ignored or mistreated and it just vexes your spirit. Speak up. Well, cousin, I'm not like a confrontational person. Well, speaking up doesn't mean go, hey, you're a butthole. I don't like what you're doing. Stop that. Speaking up can also be going to said person and giving them some encouragement. Let them know that you see them. Giving them a compliment. Or just aiding and assisting them. Maybe something happened and the person who are rude or mean or what have you, say they are not there anymore. And you can give some assistance. You can help them pick up something that fell over. You can walk them to their car. You can blah, blah, blah. You can pay for their meal. That's also speaking up, being present, stepping up, speaking and stepping up. That's a situation where speaking up is needed. Again, always. What if you are, you have these opportunities to share some wisdom you have? Like, there's a work project, and this particular project could benefit from a skill that you've gotten before, prior, something that you have and you have developed before. Speak up. Don't just sit there and like I said, make some misinformation be out there. Say the project is presented, but no one knows where to start, but you know where to start and the end, and you probably could teach or lecture or share some information that you have or where you got said information or whatever to the benefit of the project being done. What if that helps put you in a different type of realm? Your employer looks at you with a different lens. What if that catapults you somewhere else you want to be? What if that is your entire goal? Or what if you, again, for this moment, for this thing, certain things come up that you just sit on that information, you sit on your hands, and you just, I don't know, I just don't know. Start speaking up. Speak up. Flex that resume. Flex those YouTube university credentials. Flex that actual university degree and these trade school credentials. Like, let's use these things. Let's share these things. I think that's awesome. If something can benefit from a prior skill you've obtained, I think that's great. Use that. Speak up. Step into that. Let's do it. Like, one of my supporters works in a building, right? He doesn't want to work in this one entry-level position he's in anymore. So what do you think he did? He started speaking up, speaking up about his other skills and the qualifications he had that correlate with the other roles he desired. He spoke up about the change he could bring, and he even recommended a replacement for his current role. He spoke up. Now, I know these are like vague examples or whatever, and these are things that came to mind. So I'm sure someone's initial thoughts could be, it's not that simple. And sometimes, if you speak up, the negative things can happen, and what ifs, and shoulda, woulda, coulda, and most likely you are, we're similar in a certain way. If you had to have had those thoughts with what I was saying, because I have those thoughts and I shun those thoughts away a lot, and that's because I'm a chronic overthinker. I have a lot of Google tabs up in my brain, and all the desired outcomes and the way things could happen in the scenario. Yeah, my brain does that, so I can understand that. I can relate, but the difference is again understanding that, even with what I'm saying, there's a matter of other elements. There's knowing the time and the place for what you're doing, depending on what situation you're in. There's a way of doing things. There's a way of speaking to people. There's a way to handle the people involved for your desired outcome in your one-on-one situation. So let's not lose that. No one's saying just throw two sheets to the wind and just behave in an aggressive or a very demanding manner and then desire an outcome of peace and solace and happiness and the things you would like. Hey, that's not what I'm saying. So let's not lose that. Okay. So I could share and leave you guys with a memory, right? I worked in a warehouse. It was a delivery service brand. Worked it for a while. Enjoyed the work. And I learned I was an order picker, and I learned how to dispatch to the drivers from a coworker and a manager. So I had a device. I grabbed the goods. I placed them in the appropriate place, and the appropriate driver gets the order placed on them via the dispatcher. They deliver the goods to the desired location and come back and do it again, get more deliveries, and just work like clockwork that way. And we had a problem at one point with just staffing, where almost all businesses can relate, right? So at certain times of night, it was, especially when I started working, it was the summer. People were canceling because they wanted to be a lot outside. They had engagements and things like that. And how often you can call off if someone could take your shift and all of that. Some people would just not show up. Like, I tried to get my shift up. I tried to blah, 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 blah. No one answered. No one came. I just ain't coming. And it's like, we know how that domino effect can affect the other people there, blah, 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 what have you. Then, so that was a problem, which kind of fell on my shoulders because I'd be there and I just had to take a brunt of the work because people were missing. I don't have any children. So at the time, I don't have children now, didn't have children then. So if it was like Mother's Day or it was something like that, Easter or what have you, just different Valentine's Day. Like I would take people shift or I would stay longer so they could be with their children. I was that type of coworker. And then I noticed another, so I can't do anything with that need. This is me already stretching myself with that need. But another need came up, and at one point, after a certain time of night, it was a 24 hours facility, and the orders would get very, just very scarce. But someone had to physically be, on the premises, working the machine, basically just working at some point. It paid more. No one wanted to do the job, but no one would be there. What do I mean? I was the only dispatcher and the only picker. So I would pick the items. They would come one every 30 minutes, one every couple of hours after a while. And when I say overnight, I mean 10, 11 to maybe 6 a.m. when my relief is supposed to be there. And sometimes, again, they're late. I had to this and that. And, I'm sorry. It's always something, right? And I've been here all night, so I would be frustrated. Sometimes it's like, when you done with the end of your shift and you can't just leave, you're waiting on someone else. It's a difference. And you're a little irritable. And a lot of times if I did that overnight shift, I think I did my regular shift plus that overnight dispatcher shift. And I had 3 jobs that year too. So yeah, just let's not even talk about that. Okay. But the reason I got that job is I saw a need and I spoke up. I said something after I let them know, hey, I'm a visual learner. I'm a whatever. It wasn't like some type of secret software that I had to have some type of clearance to see or to learn or to work. If somebody I started off just visually looking at the software, seeing how they were doing it, asking questions to people who was working the dispatcher who did want to teach. Some people don't want to show you. They don't want you over their back or next to them learning. They just don't like that. That's fine. So the people who were willing to teach, I learned from, and then now they able to trust me for little things like they're on their way, they're late coming to work. They're late coming to work and they're calling to say they late, and let's say the manager is like, I can't, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. They're always on some type of Zoom call or some type of special meeting, e-meeting, electronic online meeting, whatever. And they will be able to say, well, if I'm there, they will say, I do know how to blah, blah, blah. So I'll be sitting there maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes when they're in the bathroom or whatever. When they go on a break, maybe I could switch out so they could take their break because they wouldn't be the only person in the building other than the manager that knew how to do that thing. So now I have all these skills, blah, 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 what have you. Now I'm able to pitch myself and let them know I can do this. I have been doing this, having these recommendations, and them, those persons vouch for me. One being a coworker, one being another manager, and let them know, hey, I see this need. This works for me because of blah. I'm willing to do blah. This works for you because you need someone to do it, and I'm willing. So, am I able to? And the answer was yes. It was great money. No one was there. It was just me and the dispatcher. The door was locked a certain way. It was always recorded, and I was very close with one of the managers. So that person and even the other manager, over that one, the main manager, whatever, they were able to look into the cameras, at any time if there was a need be remotely. So that was good to know. So if anything were to happen, they're able to literally go on a tab on their computer, what have you, and look and see what's happening in real time and rewind it at any time and see what's happening. So I felt very secure. I felt very safe. And then I'm just a girl from Chicago. Like I have a certain mentality and a way I have to exist in the world to be safe as a woman anyway. So I'm just going to say I wasn't just there all vulnerable. I was able to defend myself rightfully, just saying. But again, I got that from speaking up. I spoke my piece. I spoke up, and I remember that so distinctly because it was one of the first times, maybe in like a professional manner, that I spoke up. And I went for it, and I was just like, hey, you know, the worst they're going to say is no. But I don't understand why they would say no. Sometimes you not understanding why they say no doesn't matter at all. But, you know, I was like, I don't understand why they would say no. I'm willing to do it. I'm qualified, blah, blah, blah. And it worked. And obviously it helped a snowball effect of me working that muscle, me standing in that and doing that more often and seeing where the dice lay in that way based on how I want other things to come to me in life. And so that's why I charge you, friend. I charge you right now. I charge you to speak up. Speak up for yourself, speak up for someone else. If you do that, I'm encouraging you to remember that. Maybe you're in a situation right now and it's like, man, this feels familiar. Yep, it's probably time to work that skill you've already learned about speaking up. Sometimes peace is the answer. Sometimes no speaking is the answer. You're just supposed to be silent, let it play out, or let this happen or let that happen, or watch and observe and wait. And then there's a time and a place to speak up, a way to speak up, a way to handle those persons again in your situation. So that is your homework, okay? Come back and comment a song with a message similar to what today's episode was. And I'm going to do it too. And second assignment, speak up. Say something with your chest this week. Say it with your chest this week. You know, pitch your business or your skills to someone who inquires in front of you at the grocery store. Oh my God, do you know where I can get these, and these? And you make them. Why you didn't tell that lady you make those? Why you didn't tell that man that you create those when he said he was looking for something for his wife? Why you didn't tell him? Speak up. Have your cards ready. Speak up. Say it with your chest this week. Say something to that bratty teen cursing out their guardian at the daggone baseball game. Why you let him make everybody feel awkward and everybody's biting their tongue? Speak up. Let him know as a community that ain't gonna work. And he gonna have to talk to his elders with some respect in front of you and in front of all these other people. Because it just ain't right. Speak up. Tell your family you want to go on a solo vacation or a self-care retreat. Tell them with love that you are tired of looking at them. Speak up. Speak up. And I will see you next week, cousin. I'm done. And this was Hi, I'm done radio. Bye, cousin.